there, everybody. It's Karen from Karen's Corner, and it's about almost 2:30 in the morning. I went to bed at 9. I've been up laying in bed till 1:30, so I got up. I cooked up some ground turkey that needed to be cooked before it went bad, and had myself a little decaf, and my little friend, the cat's outside, and so I gave him a little treat and some love, and came back in and thought I'd get on here for a minute. I thought a few times about, what to say on several occasions. I'm not doing any projects right now. I'm still considering ripping out the carpet, but I'm afraid to be honest. I have moved the carpet away in some spots where I could see what was underneath, and I could see it's the chipboard OSB, and I'm not really sure what to do about that. So the carpet's really worn and needs to go, but I'm terrified about what's in it, so underneath it. So I haven't done anything about that. I haven't painted either. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where, nothing has to be really dealt with. It's fine. So maybe if I'm still here in the spring, I'll do something. Maybe I won't. But my overall thought has been when you know it's you and you don't know what to do about it, like I have no social life. I'm pretty much a hermit, a witch in the woods, if you will. I don't have friends. Any friends I had, I left in Wisconsin when I moved here 8 years ago. And even then, I realized I didn't have friends. We didn't do things together. I had drinking buddies back in the day. And, I knew people when I was working, but I wasn't hanging out with anybody anymore. The people I did hang out with at one time, I realized weren't my friends. They weren't my friends. No, I was laughed at, and I didn't even know it. But that's okay. I brought it upon myself. I was probably seen as obnoxious, and yeah, I guess maybe I was obnoxious and didn't know it. I was one of those people who always tried to fix the situation, and had girlfriends that I thought I had in bad relationships, and so I would stick my nose in it because they would tell me all their wah stuff, and then guess who got the blame? Right here. It's like the shoot the messenger kind of thing. But yeah, I realize now that it was me. And even though I had said to my mom 30 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, about some of my social situations, I said, what is it about me? What is it about me that people don't want me around? And so when I see myself on these videos, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. And so maybe I understand a little more that I'm a little, I don't know, I come off the wrong way. Just the way I am. I'll show you something. This was me when I was a little bitty kid. Look at that cute, sweet little kid. I often wonder what happened to her that she ended up like me. Not that I dislike me, I don't. But I see this sweet little baby girl who's not even 3 years old and wonder what happened to her. What happened to that sweet little girl? I keep that picture on my refrigerator so I can see her every day and try to be the person that she would have run to for love and safety and all that stuff. I remember about, probably 30 years ago, I was working at a newspaper in town up in Wisconsin in Door County. And the boys are probably in, I don't know, fourth, fifth grade. And I used to be, and the boys would come down after school every now and then. And I remember taking them bowling with me one night. I was on a bowling team through my workplace. And somebody had said how much they really liked my kids. That they were surprised how much they liked my kids. Because they expected them to be more like me. They were like me. I was nice and all that good stuff. But apparently at work, people didn't see me that way. They saw me as rude. They saw me as pushy and direct and aggressive because I was asserting myself. So maybe that's why I don't have any friends. You know, back in the day when we were a lot younger, we were going out all the time. You had drinking buddies, you had friends, girls, guys, whatever. But as I get older, that all went away. And delightfully so, because I was becoming an alcoholic. Yeah. I mean, when all your social interactions revolve around alcohol, you know. Well, I don't drink anymore. Also, when I was depressed, I would push myself on some people, not realizing that's what I was doing. I was so lonely and so depressed. And so feeling unworthy. And so I would be around these people and not realizing that I was a pain in the ass. Yes, I've been through therapy. Went to therapy the first time when I was 11 years old because I was being bullied in school. And then I was in therapy twice in my 20s, once when I was pregnant with my second child. And I was basically told by the overbearing cigarette smoking dude who was my therapist that it was all my fault. My marriage, you know, the whole thing. It was all my fault. And then a few years later, my husband and I were in therapy, and that was useless. He was calling the kids brats who were just babies and complaining about not getting any sex when he was just he was dirty. He was dirty and he was lame. He was spending all our money. And we had babies in the house. He sold my Pinto. I don't remember what year it was. He sold my Pinto, got $300 for it, and I never saw it. Yeah, he was useless. He was useless as a husband. He was useless as a father. Then as time went by, I ended up in therapy again in my 30s, and then again in my 40s, and again in my 50s. And it was always the same conversation about my childhood, my relationships, and the abandonment, the neglect, the abuse, you know. Now I know that other people, millions of other people around the world, have been neglected, abandoned, and abused way worse than I ever was. But I guess I always found myself as being unworthy. And I'm not unworthy. I'm perfectly good by myself, but I do have moments. I do have moments. I think even my neighbors here have like, we don't think we like her. My one neighbor next door to me has encroached into my my yard a few times, and because all our lots overlap each other, and so he has encroached. And when I told him he couldn't park in a certain spot anymore, he became argumentative with me. I just told him I wasn't going to argue about it. It wasn't happening anymore. Sorry. Another neighbor seems to keep putting her mail back into my mailbox. It doesn't have her name on it, but it has her address. But the BITCH is too lazy, little Miss Teacher, to take care of her own stuff. So I went and took it to her landlord and got to them. So I'm sure that they all think I'm a BITCH. I am. So it is me. It is me. It is me. I'm alone. I'm not lonely. I'm not bored. But I'm alone. I have no friends. I don't want any friends. Not on a day-to-day personal basis. It's all drama. It's all drama. Even when I was cleaning, you know, you get yourself involved, unfortunately, with not Not involved, just, you become involved in their lives and you care about them and stuff. But the drama, especially if you're doing a couple neighbors that all know each other, bark, 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 bark. They all talk about each other to each other. They all talk about each other to me, and they all talk about me to them. So, there's that. So, if God's purpose for me is to be alone and deal with myself, then I'm okay with that. Most of the time, I'm okay with it. There are times that I'm not, and I have to pray for His guidance so that I'll be okay. Yeah, don't feel sorry for me. I don't feel sorry for me, not one bit. I don't feel sorry for me one bit. I feel bad for that little girl. Because what happened to her? That she ended up like this? I might be regarded as an independent woman, but I'm not. It's not independence. No, it's not. I'm vigilant. I'm overly vigilant to everything. I'm suspicious of other people on a regular basis. And yeah, I've learned not to trust. Sometimes it's hard to trust myself. I mean, I know we've all been through a lot. Most of us have been through, or most people have probably been through way more shiznit than I've ever been. And maybe if any of you are feeling that way, that you're feeling neglected, abandoned, abused, disregarded, invisible, all the things. We all know that there are people out there who've gotten it worse than we ever have. But that doesn't invalidate our hurt, our pain, our anger, and all that stuff. So if you're feeling this way, it's okay. You can. It's the road to healing. And sometimes healing takes a lifetime. 64 years old. I'm trying to figure out where the last 20 years went. Because when I see pictures of myself, I'm like, where'd she go? What happened here? What happened to that little girl? I don't feel sorry for myself. I just feel sad. Did I still feel this way? That I'm not healed. And I don't know if I ever will be. Don't feel sorry for me because I don't either. I'm just feeling. Oh, you're so overly sensitive. I'm not. You're all just a bunch of, forgiveness. Oh my gosh. Forgiveness. Forgiving myself has been a tough one. Because I've been a turd, not realizing I was a turd. There are probably people out there who I owe an apology to who won't get it because I'll never see them again. There are people who I feel owe me an apology, but I'll never get it. And if I'm the villain in anybody's story, especially theirs, I'm okay with that. Because my peace is more important. Yeah. I might be by myself, but I have a lot of peace most of the time, except whatever's going on in here. So, but the world is hurting. The world's a hurting place sometimes. And I know there's a lot of you out there hurting too. Just pray. Pray for guidance. Yeah. Pray for guidance. So this isn't a boo-hoo video, even though I've been boo-hooing a little bit. I know it's me. I know it's me. If that keeps people, the shitty people away, that keeps the shitty people away, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So anyway, I guess I've been on here long enough. Wah wah. Gonna put the ground turkey away that I cooked. It's cool enough to put it away. Hope you're all getting a good night's sleep. Maybe I'll sleep in a couple hours. See you later. Thanks for hanging out.